the new year is a time to get fit.
I mean...
It really is. And there's loads of those apps and challenges online for you to help you. But apparently, the 10,000 daily step challenge is the way forward.
Well, let's find out. If you're not doing it yourself, you know someone who is, but why has it become so popular and is it all it's cracked up to be? Dr Zoe's here. She shed some light on the popular trend. So nice to see you. Happy New Year, Dr Zoe.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you look so lovely.
Oh, so do you, both of you. It's great to see you.
You've been doing your 10,000 steps?
No, sadly not. I haven't been managing
4,000
steps.
Tell us about the challenge.
Squats.
How did it first come about?
So, interestingly, the 10,000, the number 10,000 is not based in science. It's actually a marketing ploy. So back in the 60s, it's a long story, but back in the 60s, when the Olympics was in Tokyo, a clock company came up with a pedometer and they called it Manpo Kai, which translates in English to 10,000 steps a metre. And the symbol that represented this, kind of, if you use your imagination, looks a bit like a running man. So that was the reason it's 10,000 steps. So, you know, 10,000, we like a nice round number, but it doesn't have to be 10,000.
Nuts. There's no relevance at all to, like, science or anything.
No.
And I'm surprised it was as early as 64.
19,
in my head, it's just something that happened last year.
The weirdest thing is, you can get absolutely obsessed with it. If you don't hit 10,000, like I've been in... I have done it before, but not very often. But at the end of the day, if you're like on 9,200, you literally have
to... you go outside and do
it. Go downstairs,
go for a walk around the block.
Yeah, walk around. Like, you want to get to that 10,000.
Yeah, so it's really motivating and it's a really good way of doing a challenge. You know, people do it in the workplace, people do it with their family. And, you know, if you're the sort of person who is motivated by something like that, essentially, if you are walking more steps than you were previously, that is good for your health. And walking's such a great form of exercise because it's accessible to pretty much almost all of us. It's free, you don't need any equipment, it's available, it's great for your physical health, great for your mental health, gets you out and about in nature and meeting people. So it's a great form of exercise.
So roughly, how far is 10,000 steps? And is 10,000 steps too many or just right, or... for the average person?
Well, this is where it all depends. It depends on who you are, how tall you are, what your age is. It depends how big your stride length is. And it depends, when it comes to health and the benefits of walking, what's really important is the pace at which you're doing it. If you're doing it brisk, then, you know, if you are doing moderate intensity activity, and I talk about moderate intensity activity all the time, to know if you're doing it right, you should feel 3 things happening to your body. Your body should feel warmer, should be aware of your heart beating faster, and you should be a little bit out of breath. If you're doing that, then you're getting all those health benefits of exercise, reducing your risk of some cancers, reducing your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, you name it, it's really good for you. But you could do 10,000 steps pottering around Oxford Street shopping. You're not going to get the same health benefits if you do 10,000 steps hiking up a mountain.
But you're still going to get some health benefits.
But you're going to get some benefits. So
you need to do it with intention, really, don't you?
Ideally, you'd be doing it at a pace that does get you a little bit out of breath. But in order to be getting all the benefits from physical activity, the physical activity guidelines tell us we should be doing 3 things. Firstly, we should be doing some muscle strengthening activity at least 2 days a week. Really, really important. Secondly...
Meaning, so if people aren't doing weights, what does that mean?
So you definitely don't need to go to a gym and lift weights. Anything that puts more force through your muscles than normal daily activity. So that could be carrying heavy shopping bags, they count as weights. It could be walking up a hill, so you're using gravity to put more force through your muscles. I'm using my 7-month-old baby as a weight at the moment.
Wonderful.
He loves it. But you don't even need that, just your body weight, doing squats, doing push-ups off a bench. In fact, Tamsin, who did my makeup here just now, she said in lockdown she used her cat as a weight, a very willing cat who loved it. So anything that...
What, like a
little cat?
Well, she said when so as soon as she puts her yoga mat out, he comes along and he gets there and he wants to be involved, so she'll be lifting him, or... I didn't actually ask, maybe she swings it. I don't know. Dermot, is that idea for you with your cats?
2 cats.
Yeah, no, I do a little bicep curl, but they don't weigh too much, so you can do quite a lot of it.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
And
Toe and socks. Very good, guys.
The third one is really important to reduce our sedentary behaviour. As Brits, we sit for 8 to 9 hours a day, and as human beings, we're not designed to do that. It's really bad for us. So I think the 10,000 steps, for most people, it's not going to get you that muscle strengthening. If you're doing it at a brisk pace, it can help you get those 150 minutes of moderate intensity. And as you said, it is really good at helping people lower their sedentary behaviour because you're trying to get your steps up by going for a walk at lunchtime or parking further away from the supermarket. So, you know, it's not the be-all and end-all, but it's really good.
But then we've got a Harvard University study found only 4,400 daily steps were enough to lower the risk of death in women in the 70s. Another survey found that 8,000 steps per day were enough to lower the risk of premature death by 50% in middle-aged men and women.
Yeah, so there are lots of studies where people have been trying to figure out what is the number, how many steps you need to do, and the answer is it depends on you. If you're doing 2,000 steps a day and you can increase that to 3,000, you're going to get a health benefit. The more you can do, the better. But I think one of the key messages is that 10,000 can be a bit unachievable and it can put people off.
Yeah.
So if you're increasing it, then you're going to get health benefits. And also, I wanted to demonstrate something. For people who don't want to do walking, that's not for them, there's something you can do without leaving your sofa that's going to give you just as much benefit. I do this with my patients all the time. So if you shuffle out a little bit...
Why did you say that?
Let's do it, though.
It's really easy, it's really easy.
Do you know what? TV is like one of the worst things because you just sit there watching TV. We can all do this together. Come
Exactly.
on.
So everybody out there...
Sit yourself down.
I want you to join us. So put your hands out in front and stand up. If you need to use your hands to stand up, do, but if you don't, and then sit down. Stand up.
Oh, my God. I really feel that in my core.
Down. Right, you get the message. It's really straightforward. Yeah. And then if you can, without sitting down, just go so your bum just touches the chair.
Oh, yes,
and then up again.
That's good. Yeah.
Just touches and up again.
My mind's telling me no.
But my body's saying yeah.
That's enough.
I'm out of breath.
That, guys, is a squat. A simple squat.
I love that.
You've just been squatting.
I'm buzzing.
Come on.
I'm buzzing.
If you can do 50 of those a day, break them up, do 10.
Whoa.
Do 10 every time the ad breaks. We've got an ad break coming up. So every time the adverts come on, do 10 of those. Do that 5 times a day. I guarantee after a month, you'll feel a difference.
In terms of apps, what should people be using? What do you like, what you don't like?
Or a
iPhone,
Fitbit.
Fitbit, what's the deal?
So it's really up to you and how much you want to spend. You can get a pedometer for less than a £5. You can get a wearable for less than £5 that will count your steps reasonably accurately. Or you can go as high-tech as you want and spend hundreds of pounds on devices that do all sorts of stuff. They'll monitor your sleep, they'll monitor your oxygen saturations, they'll track your periods. So it's really up to you, but you don't need to spend a fortune. And iPhone and Androids have an inbuilt accelerometer as well. So you can use your phone, but of course you've got to have it on your person. If it's in your handbag over there on a chair, it's not going to work. So
fair enough.
Because they do measure your steps sometimes when it's in your pocket, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's an app from the NHS called Active 10. And if people want to download it, you can download it now. It's completely free. And that's got a slightly different approach. Rather than counting steps, it encourages people to do a 10-minute brisk walk every day, ideally increasing it to 3 10-minute brisk walks every day. And if you can do a 10-minute brisk walk every day, you can reduce your risk of dying young by 15%. So, and if people download that now, it'll already tell you what you've done today. And often people have done much more than they think. And Alice Fear is over there.
Alice,
shaking her phone.
She's shaking her phone to get more steps.
So you can cheat, but
who's winning? Not me.
You're only cheating yourself, Alice.
Oh,
You're only cheating yourself.
So Active 10's a good... Again, it's another one I do with my patients. I'll sometimes sit there with them, say, can I borrow your phone? Can I download an app? And my patient will say, I don't do any walking, I don't do anything, doctor. I'll show them, I'll say, look, you've already done 15 minutes of walking today. For that time there, those 2 minutes, you were walking at a brisk pace. What were you doing? Usually it's, I was rushing to get here. Well, if you can extend that pace of walking to a 10-minute block every day, one of the best things you can do for your health.
You're amazing. Thank you, Dr Zoe.
Brilliant.